What up? What up? This is Mike from 15th Man. I'm honored to have another special guest on the podcast today. I got my man Navro Allen from Knox School up in New York, and just like to welcome him today. How you doing today?
Doing great, Mike. Thank you for having me. Thank you for
No
having me.
problem. Anytime. Thank you for taking time out your day and talking with me. And we're gonna get it going. So Navarro is he's coaching right now, but I'm gonna let him introduce himself a little bit and let him tell you, where he coaching at and what the school is about and everything. So just let everybody know what you got going on right now, Navarro.
All right. So, Navro Allen here. I coach at Knox boarding school in St. James, New York. It's a small private boarding school that is thriving, getting better as the day goes by. It's my first year here. Super excited. Got a bunch of players that are really grinding hard, trying to get better every day. And we're just trying to make something special here happen. Been in basketball pretty much my whole life, and coaching has been a major part of this. We'll get into all of that, but pretty much been coaching for like 23 years now. Good
Okay.
luck.
So I know you're up in the New York area. So yeah, I know you played high school. You say you played high school at Deer Park High School up there. So
That
how
is
did you
correct.
get started before high school? Like, how did you just start playing the game and fall in love with the game?
Oh man. So I started playing basketball. It was really like I was actually a baseball player and a wrestler. Like people don't understand that. Like I was more of a baseball player, played baseball. Everybody in my family played baseball and or softball. And then I started wrestling, and then all the kids, the local kids, would go to this community center and play basketball. We called it Washington. It was George Washington School, but we called it Washington. They
Mm.
go to the school and play basketball every day. So trying to have friends and be one of the cool guys, I started playing basketball every day with the older guys, and just fell in love with the game of playing basketball, being around those kids, and everything. It was more like the camaraderie of being
Yeah,
there drew me to the game of basketball. It made me want to play and develop and get better and better and better.
gotcha. And so after that, so talk about your high school days as playing ball. I know
Uh,
you probably was getting it in. You say you played college, but
I tell people this all the time. I was when I started playing basketball, I was really really bad, but I was but I'm always honest about everything. I had an extreme amount of work ethic. I got that from my mom, from my grandfather, from my aunt. So my work ethic carried me to become good and become a basketball player in high school and college. And at Deer Park, I started out playing. It was funny because like I would just be hanging around all the older guys,
mhm.
like that were really good. I hang around them all the time, and then I started playing summer league as an eighth grader with the varsity team, and that transformed to me playing as an eighth grader playing JV
Mhm.
because I just was always around. So it was like I'm playing, but I'm not really good. And it was like, all right, I'll just go out and play defense on this kid that's an all Long Island basketball player. And I would just run around like a maniac trying to act like I was like, Dennis Rodman or, like Ron Harper was a great defender. So I try to be like Ron Harper or something like that, where I'm just really engaged in just playing basketball on the defensive end.
Yeah,
As I got older, I learned how to dribble, I learned how to score, and became a really good shooter. Like when I was in high school, my idol was more or less Reggie Miller. Like
gotcha.
it wasn't anybody like that. I knew for a fact, hey, I could do what Reggie does.
Uh-huh.
Like most kids will watch, like we would go watch Kenny Anderson and those guys
Mhm.
play, but I knew as a kid I couldn't do what Kenny did. But what Reggie did, coming off screens, shooting jump shots, shot fake, shoot a jump shot, get to the rim, I could definitely do all of that. So I was like, I'm gonna do what Reggie did. I used to hear stories of
Mhm.
him doing basically, 5 a.m. workouts where he would shoot 1,000, 1,500 shots. So I started doing that myself, where it was like, yo, hey, I'm gonna shoot 1,000, I'm gonna shoot 1,500 jump shots every day,
Yeah.
and that's what I did until I got to college.
Hey, look, that's crazy because a lot of New Yorkers might not want to hear you say you like Reggie Miller,
Yeah, that's one of those hidden those hidden secrets of my life is I don't really go with the trend. I go with
yeah.
what I like. So it's
Gotcha.
like
Yeah.
Reggie was that guy, and then he also like the other thing that I loved about Reggie was Reggie was a trash talker. So
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
I like doing that too.
Yeah. Reggie was a dog. So
Definitely was.
yeah. So after your high school, I know you say you played you moved around a couple of colleges, played. I know you say you went to a JUCO, started a JUCO.
Yeah,
So,
I went to after high school, being a knucklehead, I
yeah.
tell like I said, I tell people the truth. I don't lie about my life because
Mm,
if you tell people the truth, they learn from it. They'll learn from
got it.
your life and they could do the things or they could be inspired by your life and do the things. So
Mm,
I was a knucklehead in high school and I didn't do the grades that I was supposed to. And I ended up going to junior college. I went to
mm,
Sage Junior College of Albany. And I kid you not, it was the best thing that ever happened to
yeah.
me. First day of junior college practice was, you go to your positions. I
Hmm.
never knew anything about that level of practice and that level of things. We had great practices. Polly was a great coach, but it was different. It was a lot
Yeah.
different. So you go to your positions for like skill training.
Hmm.
And I went with the two guards because I was like, yo, I'm a shooter. And they were like, no, you're 6'2". Go with the
Yeah.
point guards. So I
Exactly.
had to learn how to dribble and change my whole basketball game again from being a shooter to somebody that created shots for other people, learning offenses, learning defenses, and becoming more of a cerebral chess player on the court,
Yeah.
which really helps me as a coach right now, and really, really helped everything as a coach.
Mm. So after your junior college year, I'm sure that prepares you to go
Yeah.
to a more
Uh,
higher level.
Yeah, after JUCO, I went to Morris Brown, which is a Division I school in Atlanta, and I loved it. I really, really loved the junior college living. I mean, the experience I had in Atlanta.
Mm.
But then, I was on uh, a red shirt year, so I wasn't
Okay.
really playing. I was just practicing with the team, getting everything ready. And then, unfortunately, my mom got sick.
Mm.
And when my mom got sick, it was more or less of a, hey, I got to man up. My
Mm.
mom gave my mom gave me the world. Like she did
Yeah.
everything for me, for my
Yeah.
family. So I came back home and I ended up not going to school for a year, and then I went to Stony Brook, and I ended up
Mm.
becoming a practice player and coach with the Stony Brook team also.
Got it.
And that's when I really started. I was coaching all throughout this time period. When I went there, that's when I really started ingratiating myself in coaching and really learning about the different aspects of X's and O's of playing, of how to make a practice plan, of how practices go, what a coach visions and everything else. It really became in depth with that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So I'm sure that so you're more like a player coach during those
Yeah,
days.
yeah. Those
Yeah.
days it was more like a player coach because
Yeah.
I would play with them in practice, but I wasn't on the team or anything like that. Uh, I was on scholarship, but like
Mm.
it was like one of those things where I only had one more year left, and it was like, what am I gonna do? I was like, I know I'm not gonna really get the minutes that I want or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I was like, yo, I'd rather just coach and start making my bones there. So
Gotcha.
that's when I started really focusing on coaching and having a better aspect of that. Like,
Yeah. Soaking up a lot knowledge, learning the game more.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
the coaching aspect is so fulfilling for me. And I've been doing it since I was 18 years old. My
Yeah.
first day my first days of coaching was coaching PAL. My cousin had a PAL team and I was coaching them. And it was more like being a player coach because I would play with them every day in practice. And I
Yeah.
thought that was the way you coach. The way it's
Mm.
totally, totally, totally wasn't.
So after that, did you transition into full-time coaching
Yeah,
or
after that I transitioned to full time coaching. I had my first job ever was coaching at St. John's the Baptist as a freshman coach.
mhm.
It was under JD Walsh. It was a great opportunity. I did that for one year. And then I went to Bayshore And
mm,
that's when I really learned how to coach. And
mm.
I became a really good coach at Bayshore. I was the freshman coach for 2 years. I was the varsity assistant coach at the same time. So I would be in practice basically from 3 o'clock every day
Wow.
to, I would say, 8, 9 p.m. every day, just practicing my own team and then learning from the varsity coach Ken Farm, how to run a team, how to run a practice, and he
Mhm.
just really showed me how that stuff worked. And then from there, I took over at Bayshore,
Yeah.
and I was the Bayshore varsity coach for 4 years after he left, and that was another great experience. Um, Being a varsity coach, your first time out is rough. You got
Yeah.
a lot of things that you got to learn, but I learned. I put a lot of kids in college, and we won. We won our league every year. We got to the Suffolk County Finals. I think four years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we weren't able to win it, but it was a learning experience. Really good learning experience, because that learning experience propelled me into the next opportunities that I had with coaching, which gave me, more, an abundance of more stuff to do. Like I went from Bayshore to Metro and
Mhm.
coached with the Metro Hawks with that EYBL team
Mm.
under Hakeem and Dennis, which was great. And then from there, went to Riverside and coached at Riverside, and I coached girls at Riverside, and
Okay.
I started coaching girls for a little bit at St. Anthony's also.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Um, Another good situation. Won two state championships there. Reunited with my mentor Kenny, and we won two state championships. And then I coached. Was the Riverside girls director. From there, I went to Five Towns College, and last year was the 1 year that I did at Five Towns. Got Kyle was the coach of the year in that league, and then
Uh,
now I'm at Knox coaching a bunch of great boys over here, and doing some big things with them. They got some really talented kids out here, and just trying to get them to get seen more, and everything, uh, get more notoriety.
yeah. So yeah, I said you got a very extensive, impressive coaching resume. I was gonna say, don't leave out you was 4-time coach of the year, 2-time coach of the year. So you're
Yeah,
definitely doing your thing.
I mean, it's one of those things where I do have an extensive coaching resume, and I'm blessed to say that I've had the privilege of coaching a lot of talented young men. The Jordan Allens, the Booker Hucks, the Marcus Damuses, the Jordan Awoyes, Malik's, the Trevors, God bless them, Barry Ingram, all those kids at Bayshore really propelled me to coaching some really good groups of girls. The Arellas, the Gabby Safaros, the Deja Davises, the Najas, all those kids played. They still play now. And then my Metro Hawk kids, from Keith Williams, well, his last name is Allen now,
Mm.
to Tavon Myers, Joel, Wesley, JP, Greg Sinat, who plays in the NFL right now. I
Wow.
just had a whole bunch of talent always around me. It's just like, now that I'm at Knox, I see these kids, and I see the potential that they have, and how
Mhm.
much talent that they can have. These kids can be really special. I have kid by the name of Max. Max is super talented, can play
Mhm.
three different positions, does so much. Damien, who is, very much like me. We're exactly alike, where we are combative in practice and
Yeah.
take everything personal. That he's just so much better. His best basketball is way ahead of him.
Mhm.
You know, he's gonna be what I'm doing with him now is just gonna make him that much more of a better player when he gets to college, and he's gonna play somewhere. I think he's a D1, D2 level kid. He's gonna play somewhere. It's just, I got to get him seen. Got to get him
Yeah.
notarized, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
my job. My job is
Mhm.
getting them all seen. We got other kids that are really coming along. You know, Rod Thompson, he's coming along. He's our 6'5", 6'6" forward. only been playing basketball for 4 years, and out of those 4 years, two of those years COVID. So
Oh
you
yeah,
started
yeah,
playing basketball as an eighth grader, and then you had 2 years as COVID. So it's one of those things where I got to get these kids up to speed and
gotcha.
up to the level that they need to play at. But they work so hard for me, and
Hmm.
I can't take anything away from them. And everybody's gonna see it when this documentary comes out. The school and a production company put together a YouTube series where it's like behind the scenes of Knox,
Hmm.
and they're filming us in practice and during our games and everything else. And I know I'm impressed with the work that they put in. I'm definitely going to be sure that the public is going to be
Yeah,
impressed with the work that they put in every single day in practice. And I think that they're going to get a lot more publicity, a lot more
yeah.
notoriety of, hey,
Hmm.
these kids can play at our level. I think a lot
Hmm.
more schools are going to take notice of them after this starts coming out.
Yeah, that's what's up. That sounds like a great opportunity. I know you watched the Last Chance U series on Netflix. Like, they're some of my favorite series that I watch, and I tell a lot of kids to watch those, like watch those, and just watch people's journey. 1 minute you could be the man in high school, and you have a setback, and like you said, you started at a JUCO, so that JUCO can get you back right, get you back on track, and then you get that notoriety, and boom, you taking off again. So
Yeah, people don't understand. Like I watch Last Chance U every day, and
yeah,
the, our situation is a little bit different because we're not like that where it's a junior college situation where they're trying to get, this is their last chance to get at school. Our thing is more about us, our diversity as a school,
mm-hmm.
because we got so many kids that come from so many different races, religions, creeds, ethnicities, where we're blending them all together under my leadership and the tutelage of me and my coaching staff,
Mm-hmm.
blending them all together and getting them to bond as one. We call them this year the Band of Brothers, bond
Mm-hmm.
as one group, and just trying to get everybody to understand how the diversity actually enhances everything in an age where it's not good to be different. It's
Right,
not, everybody
exactly.
wants to be the same, or they want everybody to think the same, have
Yeah.
like minds. We we explore and we promote diversity,
Mm-hmm.
everybody learning from different cultures, learning from different areas, different walks of life, and then blending that to be in basketball and make sure that basketball is the bond that gets them through everything. So when they
Yeah.
see somebody that is from another culture, they understand, okay, well, this is how they act, this is what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
more receptive to those situations.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely a different times, and man, I wanted to touch on that actually, as far as your coaching, from your coaching aspect. I know you came up coaching, and the game has changed a lot. So I know you transitioned. I know you started when the game was more traditional. You had five positions. You had the big man playing inside out. So now you got positionless basketball, and like, how did you transition from that, and then just still trying to keep that foundation, like that core of your coaching?
Very difficultly. It was one of those very difficult situations where you have to understand that some of the things that we were doing, that we played as kids, learning the game of, hey, there's two post players, the post players staying inside, the guards are staying outside,
Uh-huh.
to now the court is completely spread out, and how pick and rolls act, and dribble drives, offense, and stuff like that. It was difficult, but
Yeah,
it was one of those things where I had to learn the game over again, and it actually helped me fall in love with the game again, because
yeah,
when you have to sit there and it becomes all new and you're learning again, it's something about that learning process where you fall in love with everything. So
yeah.
I went from running Bill Self's high low offense and learning all of that, to learning how to run dribble drive, and even now it's not even dribble drive. Now it's pretty much 5 out, where
Yeah,
your
yeah.
my center could be the point guard bringing the ball up and
Uh-huh.
making passes and making plays. And you have to be, as a coach, you have to understand that you don't have all the answers,
Hmm.
and your way of thinking is not always right. You have to be willing to say, I don't have the answers. I got to go out there and I got to find the answers,
Yeah,
or I have
yeah.
to hire somebody that has the answers that can teach me.
Hmm.
So that's the transition that I think a lot of old school coaches don't want to do, but
Yeah.
it's the transition that I did, and I'm thriving in doing it, and I love every bit of it.
Or you got to practice. I remember the 3-on-2 drills, the fast break drills, where you got to commit, hit the man driving to the basket. Now everybody run to the 3-point line.
Yeah, yes, yes. Now it's like, all right, instead of cutting in, everybody just spaces out to go to the corner, and it's like, all right, I'm 3-on-2. This man is running to deep corner. Ball side guys running deep corner. If I'm driving, he already knows to run deep corner. Instead of him, oh, I'm cutting in for a layup. No, I'm not cutting in for a layup, coach. I'm running deep corner for this three.
Yeah,
And you have to understand, as a coach, if he takes that three, it's okay. If he
yeah,
misses it, it's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's the right shot to take now.
Hmm.
Whereas before, it's like, that's the wrong shot. I want to get the layup.
Yeah, yeah,
Or you tell them, like, hey,
yeah.
shot fake, get the layup. No, no, take the first open shot that you get,
Hmm.
whether it's a three, whether it's two, open shot, good, clean look, take the shot.
I get it. I mean, I coached one year. I coached some 10-year-olds, 10-year-old boys. Very, very like could play everything. Like I love the coaching that age too, because you can teach them,
Yes.
and they willing to learn. And I had the same thing. One play, he come down fast break, he stop and pull up for a three. And he was one of the best players. He could drive past anybody. So I had to call him on the way down, say, hey, on that next time down, fake, hesitate, drive to the basket, get the layup. Then that opens up everything else. So it's definitely a transition. Like you say, we used to growing up and playing a certain way, but it's definitely fun, like especially that age. And I do want to get back into that age, starting out teaching them boys and girls. Actually, I did a boys and girls team. So
Yeah, the younger kids, I spent this whole summer coaching boys for Team Underrated, uh, and I was coaching 12 and 13-year-olds. It's the best thing in the world, coaching
yeah,
younger kids, because younger kids want to get better. Most of them do. And as long as you can relate with the parents,
exactly.
and what I tell parents all the time is, check my background. You check my background, you'll see, like, like, I'm not trying to hurt your kid. I just want to win basketball games.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be the best way of doing it. And with the younger kids, it actually helped me the most, because you didn't want to put a kid that's 6 foot in the post,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't know if that kid that's 6 foot, as a 12-year-old or 13-year-old, if that's going to be his final height,
Mm-hmm.
or is he going to be 6'9"? So you want to make sure that he's versatile, because
Yeah.
you want him to succeed in high school and ultimately be able to play in college,
Mm-hmm.
or if he's blessed enough to play as a pro. So that actually helped me with the transition of going from an old school coach of, hey, there's two post players, three guards,
Yeah.
to be more of a new school coach, where it's 5 out, positionless basketball. Whoever can post up, go post up.
I did want to ask you, like, from the coaching aspect. You heard the saying that coaches. I heard the saying coaches can take a player confidence away, and they can give them confidence. So I know with 15th man, that was the idea I got behind it, as far as and I did an interview yesterday with another high school girl. She's actually going D1 to Ole Miss, but I asked her the same thing as far as prepping for college. Like like everything you see online now, the media is more about the superstar players. And like 15th man is more like representation of 1 through 15. Everybody on the team has a role. So how do you keep instill the confidence, even that last man on the bench, and just let them know, like, everyone is not going to be scoring 20 to 30 points a game. Like, embrace the defensive role or whatever role you got going on. So
Well, being one of the people that was considered the 15th man on a 13-man roster, I I ain't go. I say to everybody that everybody is important to the team because you're only as strong as your weakest link. So if your job, if your assignment is to shoot open jump shots and be a 3D guy, where I'm gonna play defense, I'm gonna dive on the floor, and I'm gonna drill open jump shots. If that's your job, embrace that job until you can develop the skills to get a new job. It's like real work. I'm gonna embrace the job that I can get to support my family until I can find a new job. So that means like what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna do that job to the best of my ability.
Mhm,
And on my free time, I'm gonna learn the different aspects that I want to do for myself to to be able to do more things.
mhm,
And if that opportunity never comes where you could do more things, at least you enhance your skill level.
mhm.
So if you're in a college situation, and this is why I always like coaching high school and not college.
Yeah.
College, you can't develop kids. It's very hard to transition a kid to have time to transition a kid from being a point guard. I mean, from being a two guard to a point guard, from
Yeah.
being a center to a small forward, because you'll lose your job, and then you won't have you'll lose games, you'll lose your
Mhm,
job, you won't have a chance to feed your family.
mhm,
In high school, there's games where you could develop. There's opportunities and times where you could develop kids. So you could really take that chance of saying, hey, we know we're going to be able to compete with these teams
yeah.
if this kid gives a chance to develop as more of a 3-man away of a two guard. And I took time like that with one of my favorite kids of all time, with Jordan Allen. When
Mhm,
Jordan Allen first came to me, he was in seventh grade and he was a center. He was 6'3", seventh grader, and they used to always put him in the center. And he was athletic, lefty, block shots, do all that stuff. When he left me, he was a two guard
yeah.
because you just take the time to develop the kid and understand,
Mhm,
and that kid in that program has to understand like, hey, this is what's going to go. This is how it's going to go.
mhm.
But that I would say developmental comes from a coach's sacrifice and a player's sacrifice of understanding everything.
Gotcha. I also want to touch on also my personal opinion. Like, so I was along the same lines. High school, I was one of those 15th man guys. Like, um, but I knew once I got in, like, I'm a defender. I love picking up a point guard 94 feet. I'm picking them up. I'm gonna make you show me you can handle the ball. And I, I love that. I love trying to rip people. I'm trying to take your cookies, all that. So, and I went into the military. So when I graduated, I went into the military and I traveled playing. And it's once I started in the military, you get a lot of guys, like you said, knucklehead guys that couldn't, go to D1 and they had to go the military route. But play with a lot of guys, that went to Penn State, UTEP, D1 programs. And I think that kind of like built my confidence, as an 18, 19-year-old. It's like, man, I can play with these guys. You know, all along I could play with these guys. I just didn't have that push, that extra confidence. And I just want to touch on, as far as my opinion was, I always thought if you could play varsity high school level basketball, you could play at some level of college. That was always my thought, as far, especially if you put in the work. So how do you? I know you say you like to get your players seen. So how do you go as far as that? Like, even that last man maybe could play D3 somewhere. Or,
I agree 100% with you, and it's if you could play varsity basketball anywhere, and you can do that work ethic that it takes to play on a varsity basketball team,
mm,
you can play in college somewhere,
mm,
whether it's Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, NAIA, JUCO, and JUCO has all three levels also.
mm,
You could play somewhere. NAIA has all three levels, so you're talking about 9 levels of basketball basically. So my job as a basketball coach, and this is what I do for every kid, from number 1 to number 15 is what does that kid do well that I can market to a school and sit there and say, hey, this is what he does well so that he has a role in that program. So if he's a defender, like if it was me and you, we like picking up 94 feet. So I'm going to sit there and tell this guy, the coach, hey, this kid is going to pick up 94 feet. He's going to play defense at a high level. He's going to get after the point guard, harassing them, making steals, getting you guys extra possessions. He's going to be the kid that takes the charge. He's going to be the kid that dives for the loose ball because he's the defender that you're looking for. He's the Patrick Beverleys of the league. Patrick Beverley has a great role in the league. He's the Tony Allens of the league. Those guys have great roles in this league because they play defense at a high level. Rajon Bell was another guy. Rajon Bell played in the park with us every day. When I was in my early 20s and he was playing the 76ers, he played in the park with us every day, every single day. So we got to see that. We got to see that that level. So for me, if I'm trying to get a kid into college, I'm gonna market what they do well, and I'm gonna tell the kid, hey, let's really enhance what you do well as work on your weaknesses. So what you do well is playing defense 94 feet. Let's make it even better. Let's make it where it's you display an ability so that guard can't get the ball past the free throw line every time you're in it. And that's what you want to try and do. You display abilities to take charges, to rebound, to dive for loose balls, to do those things. Now your shooting isn't great. So we're not going to market the shooting, but we're going to work on it every day where now you're going to stay after practice and you're going to shoot 500 jump shots. Or before practice comes, you're going to shoot 500 jump shots. So now when that college coach comes to see him or comes to see her, they're expecting this defender. They get what they expected. And now they see this kid's been working on his jump shot. Now I'm hitting
extra.
Yeah, now I'm getting the extra. Now I'm hitting 3 threes. I got a pull up. So now I got all the defense that I wanted when you came to see me, and I'm getting the 12 points that I didn't expect, or the 15 points that I didn't expect, because he got leak out layups from running the floor really, really hard. He hit 2 or 3 threes from somebody else creating a shot, and he just hit open jump shots. He was able to come down, shot fake, hit a 1-drill pull up, and it was like I never expected that. I got that extra. Now it's like, wait, I really want this kid. And that's how you get the kid to get into college. You get them to buy into what they do really, really well. Market the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Work on their deficiencies. In the meantime, don't sell their deficiencies. Don't oversell a kid. Never oversell a kid. Sell what's there.
Yeah.
And be honest with everybody. Be honest with the kid. Be honest with yourself. Kids tell me all the time, I want to play a dude. All right, well, guess what? We got to win a state championship.
Yeah.
Why you say that? Because if you look at Duke's roster over the last 10 years, how many kids on that roster didn't win a state championship? Probably 2. So
even the last man who don't ever get in the game was a state player of the year somewhere.
Yeah, and won a state championship.
Yeah.
But like that culture only takes guys that win. Because they want to say, hey, guess what? If you come from a winning program, and this is what I heard Coach K say, you come from a winning program, you understand sacrificing to win.
Yeah.
So if you were on a state championship team, you understand I got to sacrifice this, and this to win. So that's why they only take guys that win state championship, or majority of their guys have won state championships, because they want guys that understand sacrificing to win or the greater good.
Exactly.
So then I would tell the kid, hey, you want to play, dude? We got to win a state championship. That means you may be able to score 40 points a game. We may need you to score 20 and play crazy defense and be the defender I'm talking about. Be that Patrick Beverley. And so that's what
exactly. I mean, I agree 100%. And along those lines, like I said, it's that embracing that role. And also, it's like you said, you got to tell the parents, check my resume. And even, as I said, with the role and us talking about the 15th man, like every kid is not gonna make it to the NBA. But you just gotta embrace, like, you may go to, like you said, you may go to Duke. Even if you go to Duke, you're not gonna make it to the NBA, but you use that opportunity and that'll take you to another pro career. You know, it's just about using basketball as far as, to broaden your opportunities as far as like your path in life. So
I I couldn't agree with you more. I Basketball has given me. I'm not a pro. I'll never be a pro in the sense of NBA pro.
yeah,
I'm not that.
yeah,
I'm not gonna be that. But basketball has given me more opportunities in life that I never would have thought. Like, who would have thought a kid from Deer Park, Long Island, would be a four-time coach of the year, would have two national coach of the year on circuit level coach of the years underneath his belt. I have a documentary coming out of the school that he coaches at. Basketball can take you as far as you want it to. You have to let it take you that way and use it the way it uses you. So if you go to college and you're even the 15th man on that college roster, guess what? Use the sport, network. You're gonna get more doors open than you ever imagined because you played for that college.
exactly.
So network yourself and get a job that makes $150,000 a year starting out, $100,000 a year starting out. You don't have to play in the NBA to have a successful life and successful career.
Yeah.
That is a blessing in its own. Playing in the NBA is a blessing. And I tell everybody, strive for it. Strive for the stars. Strive to play in the NBA. But be happy with your life if you don't. You could inspire so many people. I've touched so many lives in this world coaching this game that I can't even fathom all the letters that I get, all the text messages years later from players, from parents about the things that I've done for kids.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't have did if I hit the NBA, but I let this game of basketball take me where it wanted to take me. So network, market yourself, let the game do what it's supposed to do for you. And if you're blessed to play in the NBA, take the blessing and run with it.
Yeah. All right. So are you still coaching AAU or are you?
Right now, I don't know. I have a lot of work to do with this Knox basketball program. I got to start establishing, we got to establish camps. We have a beautiful campus with dorms on campus. So I want to start getting some overnight camps here where we have a full day of kids coming in, working with myself, the coaching staff, working with great trainers. I know a bunch of great trainers. I worked with some. I worked with Jerry Powell for 7 years under Jerry's tutelage, working with him. I know Jay Hernandez really, really well from his time doing stuff. All these different trainers out there, I want to get them on board. I know speed and agility trainers out here that I want to get them on board. I want to make the Knox program the best program that it can be. So I'm gonna start reaching out to the trainers that I know, to the AAU programs that I know, and just get them to come here and do some training work here. I don't know if I'm gonna have the time to coach myself, but if I do have the time, I'm definitely gonna give my time to the youth because youth basketball is where it's at. And if you don't have good coaches in the youth, our sport is gonna die, or it's gonna become what I call an overseas sport. They're getting all the proper training that we used to get as young kids.
Yeah.
They're getting all that fundamental stuff of let's do it right. We want to just go play basketball game in America. We just want to play. I tell kids all the time, you should want to train twice as much as you practice. You should want to practice twice as much as you play games. So if you're playing 2 games, you should want to play 4 practices, and you should want to have 8 training sessions. This way, your skills are always getting better. And when a coach sees you, they see you one way in April, they'll see you another way in May, They'll see you a whole different way in June and July, and that's what I want for my kids.
Gotcha. So and I know you touched on I asked you about AAU just to I just wanted you to, before we wrap it up, just to I know you touched on the YouTube series, so just throw it all out there. Let everybody know, you know, when they can expect it, what you got going on, how they can find you, everything. We want to, you know, let as many people know as possible. So.
All right. Well, the YouTube series should be coming out, I would say, the end of January is when the first episode is going to drop. We're probably going to drop it on 4 different networks between the Knox athletic page, my personal basketball company page, NA2 Athletics. We're the production company that's doing it, Drew's production company that's doing it. And we're going to drop it on all 3 platforms so that we get as many people watching this as possible and supporting us. We want people to retweet, to repost it, to share the links, to do all that. We'll be doing a whole bunch of giveaways, sneaker giveaways off of it, free camp giveaways off of this. I'll be doing a whole bunch of things. I think I know I'll be working with Phenom, so I know Phenom is probably going to do something with getting the series out there and doing a giveaway with them and their Phenom America basketball camp in California, Joe Keller's camp. So we'll be doing a lot of stuff with that, and you could always follow me and get more information. My Instagram is Navro, Navro 2001. Follow me there. I'm more than receptive to giving out information there. Also, you can email me if you want to find out more information about Knox, about my training, about if your kid just wants to play AU, where I recommend them playing, or help with finding AAU teams and stuff like that. I'm really friendly with every AAU program in New York. I've known those guys for, goodness gracious, over 10 years plus. Everybody. You can just email me, navro2001 at gmail.com. I'll answer any questions. I'll help everybody. My thing is more or less help the kids and enhance basketball for everybody. Let's get everybody better so that we can keep this sport growing and keep young men going to college and getting life lessons that will change their lives forever.
I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, I'm honored that you took the time out, you know, to talk to me, and this is very informative and very, very good interview, way more than what I expected. So I definitely appreciate it, man. And like I said, I'll definitely be following you. I'll be reposting all of that. So
yo, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate you taking the time out to interview me and put me on your podcast. And I want to return the favor. So I hope to have you bless us and be part of the series and come down one day and interview us on the series and interview with me on the on our YouTube series and be part of that too.
I'll definitely be there. Just give me the word. Like I said, we'll definitely stay in contact with each other, and I'll definitely be out there. Hey, I'm in Maryland, so New York a short trip.
So we'll make it happen. So I'm definitely looking forward to that too.
All right, thanks a lot, man. And like I said, I'm gonna let everybody know and try to get some more followers, get that base, you know, pushed up and stuff. So I appreciate it.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right.